Well, good afternoon to what is a, shall we say, damp Dublin. According to what we could see on Cricket Leinster's website today, most cricket seems to have been abandoned for the day. But here at Sydney Parade, we have a championship game between Civil Service and Pembroke's first 11. Pembroke's first 11, well, the weather did keep us off for a long time. We're only just coming out now, and this will be a T20 game, which may be more to the advantage of Civil Service than Pembroke. But Pembroke won the toss and decided to field first and know what they're going to be chasing. No. This USB here that comes out of all your new keyboard, and does that go into the...
No, just leave it there.
Grand. We won't touch that then.
Just to replace,
So, it is breezy. The rain has stopped. The ground is remarkably good condition considering the amount of water it's taken on board. And let's hope that the weather stays away now and gives us a chance to get through this game. Opening the bowling from the nursery end will be Nick Stapleton. And this will be his first warm-up run-up. Both umpires stood at the same end. Oh, that would be nice. And a chocolate bar. Well, Greg Hollins has the gloves today. Paul Lawson standing at first slip. JJ Garth at second. Connor Hoey at third. Dermot Tucker's down here at third. Oh, Donica Tucker's joining us down here at third today. And the Civil Service batsmen now making their way out to the middle. Many thanks, of course, to our live scorer, Ada Lawson, for filling that role, hopefully, sensibly, from inside the clubhouse today. We in the broadcast area, well, we're hiding under what must be the lowest gazebo, as Nick Stapleton just completes his second warm-up run-up. It is windy. I don't know how much you're hearing of that. I must stick on some headphones and find out. So, Nick Stapleton gets to the end of his run-up. The crowd holds its breath. Speaking of which, it's not an enormous crowd today, and those that are here and aren't called Tucker or O'Riordan, you'd want to wrap up warm. Well, we start with a dot ball. Afternoon, gents. And Joshi and S. Budu are the batsmen. And as you can see, Nick Stapleton, after his many warm-ups now, getting into his over. This one goes flying through to the keeper. Greg Hollins there, taking that one with a bit of pace. Well, many congratulations to Dale for getting the pitch in such a condition that it could cope with that amount of rain, and still, here we are. As I say, I think we're the only game in town, and welcome to the 10 of you out there in viewing land. Oh, bit of a swing of a bat this time. Stapleton really getting into his stride now. First 3 balls go by, 3 dots. As I say, this game now reduced to 20 overs. If you are coming down, bring a coat, and probably one of those warm, bubbly ones. Well, that's punched out on the leg side for the first runs for Civil Service. It'll be pulled up in front of the boundary and returned to Hollis. Pick up 2. And a good bit of backing up by Hoey ensures it is only 2 as it reached Hollis on a horrible bounce. Well, Marion thirds and Cork Harlequins, Marion fifths and Fingers. Let's see if there are any games on. Certainly no others that are live scoring, and I suspect no others that are broadcasting at the moment, perhaps reflected in the fact that 17 of you have tuned in. Oh, another dot ball, Stapleton back to it. Match called off. Oh, not very good reading on the Cricket Leinster live website. It will certainly make going around the grounds a bit easier this week. So Stapleton to finish his first over, and he goes short, and that's a good ball through to the keeper. Good way of keeping the batsman there. Did raise his bat in an effort to sort of lift it down, but didn't. So opening the bowling now from the St John's end will be Zach Micklewright. Zach, who's been absolute star for the first 11 this year, and left arm over. Himself and Stapleton have formed quite the partnership. And that's allowed Pooh Sharma now to bowl in those middle overs, where his economy rate certainly helps matters, as does his unerring knack of taking wickets. Right, so S. Bodu, he gets to face his first ball in this game. Championship game, of course. Oh, it's on the full, punched out through the offside. No fielder there, but the rain has slowed up the outfield considerably, even from Thursday night. Those of you who joined us for that YMCA Pembroke women's game. Well, it's to be expected. You can't take that much water onto the ground and not expect it to slow right up. So, just 2 off that first ball. That's much better from Micklewright. Well, it's windy. The flags are standing proud over the clubhouse. Welcome to the 23 of you who have tuned in to watch some Leinster cricket today. My goodness, it almost looks like the sun is out. That will be brief, that's for sure. This one through to the keeper. Umpire signalling 3 gone in the over, 3 to go. Yeah, there is an element of a feeling of last man standing here today. If there is any other cricket on in Leinster at the moment, do let us know. The chat is open on YouTube. Well, Bodu was looking to drive that one, wasn't quite there for him. A T20 in white clothing. There's something we haven't seen in Leinster cricket for quite a while. Usually now they have us wearing the coloured clothing and using the pink ball. Well, the pink ball wouldn't have suited today. Picks up the moisture like a sponge. Or this one's just edged away through the vacant slip area. It goes down to third, where it's nicely fielded. Dear mid, Tucker does the fielding down there. And the batsman finally gets to see what it's like from the other end. Well, a slight drop off in the wind there, and almost a bit of sunshine coming through. Famous last words, as they say. To let you hear how windy this really is. As one is played out on the leg side, and that is heading towards the boundary, but it's being chased down, and it's been saved. And that's a fine piece of fielding to pull up the 4. Well, the Tuckers combining. Doneker putting his body on the line to pull that one up in front of the boundary. There are the ground mics. You can get a sense of the wind and a sense of the seagulls. Nice bit of fielding, Doneker. Well, eight on the board after 2 overs. And Stapleton to continue from the nursery end. Good line and length there. Well, no wonder Pembroke have the 3 slips in place. They're certainly backing Nick Stapleton. So, what sort of score a Civil Service is going to be looking for? Well, I suppose at the very least they're going to be looking for 120, a run a ball. Anything less than that, very tough to defend. But at the moment, watchfulness is the word for Civil Service, not wishing to lose a clatter of early wickets and respecting the bowling of the Pembroke openers. Doneker Tucker it is who's filling up your screen at the moment. Fielding down here at third man. Another one the batsman's searching for. He knows, he feels the pressure. 8 balls he's faced there now. Stapleton, of course, having a fine season with the ball, especially the red ball. Well, half an appeal, and the umpire's going to signal that as a leg bye. But obviously drifting down leg and continued on its merry way. One more onto the board. Well. Oh, my word, there's no shot played there. The umpire has said not out. Well, I think when the players and the umpire look back on this, they will be cursing Niall Walsh. No straight camera on that, but my goodness, that's a brave batsman who doesn't play a shot to that ball or to Nick Stapleton in total. So, not out. Big, big shout. Big, sustained shout. What's the betting? He knocks out his middle stump here and then appeals. Well, he certainly tried to. Didn't come off on this occasion. Pooh Sharma fields the ball. End of the over. Be nice if Nick came down to third man now, or to long on as it would be for this over, so we could have a word and see what he thought. I'm kind of guessing he would have thought it was out. Thanks for the text, Mary, and delighted to hear you moving in the right direction, albeit at a pace that probably is slower than you'd want anyway. Hopefully we'll see you back here soon. And in answer to James Cresswell, yes, we are on air. Yes, the game is on. If you're in the area, pop down. It's got to be better than fighting your way through shopping centres today. Admittedly, it wasn't fun when the rain was coming down. But at least we get to see some cricket now. Again, slanting that one across the right-hander. Place looks great. If I was in a greenhouse now. Well, punched round the corner, quite literally, comes off the gloves. Runs out for a single. Well, that's a big swing of the bat. Slanting across the batsman again, one suspects. It shows the frustration is starting to come to a head for civil service now. Here we are in the fourth over, and the score only on 11. I think it's T20. I'm going with T20. Tucker just doing the fielding there out on the boundary. Another single on. Well, next time somebody comes past us on a lap, we'll ask them to ask the scorers. Well, there is the shot he's been looking for. You've seen him play that shot a couple of times now. This time he connects with the middle of the bat. It clears. Tucker can't do anything about it. So with 4 overs gone, the score has moved on to 15. Stapleton to bowl his third. Scorers are. Well, he went well short there. Hollins did well to get across for that. It's signalled as a wide. Well, it's certainly reminding the civil service batsmen where they are. Molly will know. Another one through to the keeper. See, that theirs hasn't changed in a while now. Well, once again, thanks to modern technology and the weather apps and the number of satellites circling the globe, our weather predictions have become so much better. And one's gone through to slip, and it's taken. J.J. Garth makes no mistake. takes the simplest of slip catches. Well, one has to say that Bodu never really looked comfortable against Stapleton. He's constantly beating his outside edge, and this time, well, he found that outside edge. Oh, yeah, they're almost over behind now. So the first wicket goes down. 17 on the board. Our producer and director, Noel Walsh, is currently working on that second camera. Obviously, a lot of waterproofing having to go on at the moment with the weather we've had this evening. Stapleton again proving his worth to Pembroke. What a signing he's been as their overseas pro this year. Reported salary of 75,000, I think, was it? As the rumour mill in Leinster cricket just goes flying around now. It'll be $250,000 by the time. Anyway, the money is not what is important. He got engaged a fortnight ago. Oh, and he nearly picks up a second. He has a habit of doing this, picking up 2 and 2. Always seems to bowl an absolute jaffer just after he's dismissed somebody. Well, beside the incoming batsman who isn't prepared. Donica, how many overs is this game?
35.
Thank you very much. And there you have it. This is a 25-over game. A TF 25. So, Stapleton to continue this successful over. He really seems to have the ball on a string. Remote control, I suppose these days you'd say. Wireless, drone-like. Very rarely bowls a bad ball. As many batsmen in the championship this year would tell you. Oh, another batsman not playing a shot to one that's obviously just going down the leg side. He'll be beginning to wish that he did because it hit him flush on the foot, but not out except for a little bit of pain. Well, that's another fine Stapleton over. 17 for 1 now off 5. Barry Tucker slowly making his way past. Followed by club president and Irish over 40s player. We won't call him capped until he actually plays a game. 24th of August then, David.
Say again?
24th of August then. You'll be making your international debut. So, Zach Mickle right now. This, of course, will be the last. Well, this will be the last of the power. Oh no, it's not a T20. I keep forgetting that. It's T25, so the normal rules don't apply. This Pembroke side, of course, looking to bounce back from last Sunday's, well, I'm going to call it a disappointing defeat to Warringstown. There was a game that was completely turned upside down by the weather. Big swing of the bat, it goes out towards point, where it's neatly fielded by Hoey. As we passed comment on Thursday, you're starting to see the bushes at the nursery end now, starting to bloom. They're yellow flowers. And many thanks to Sean Smith for letting us know. St John's wort. Ironic then that it's at the opposite end. Played away on the offside, but not going to get past JJ Garth with that sort of shot. I take it Niall's climbing up and down the sight screen at this stage. See the guy in the cap at the end. Can't quite see him on screen, but next to the shed. He's the guy wearing the blue top. Well, just behind him there's a plant that's got 2 branches. I thought he was waving at us. we might show everybody else what I mean when at the end of the over. Well, good to see the crowd has just doubled with the arrival of Ashley Balburney coming through the Wheelfield Road gate, managing to keep himself just out of shot. Well, it's in the air, and it's taken. Well, Bafanda, he never really looked comfortable here today, and he has just lifted one to mid-off. 18 for 2 now. Well, I have to say, first of all, fair play to Civil Service for waiting this long to play a game. But the batsmen who have been in so far, well, they've made it back to the warmth of the pavilion far too soon for their own liking. First wicket of the day for Zach. He'll be delighted with that, as will his family down in South Africa. If they're not watching live, and I'd be surprised if they're not. They'll also be delighted with that. Well, unsurprisingly, with Zach Micklewright picking up 1 for 14 from 3 overs. Captain remaining with his openers. They've had great success. 2 overs down, 2 wickets down, 18 on the board, 6 overs gone. And the past score, of course, for a 25-over game would be about run 150 you'd be hoping to get to. So 18 for 2. It's not the easiest of starts. Bring it out just a little bit, perhaps. Big swing. Well, Joshy's been here since the start. He's now faced 17 balls for his 11. But what his side needs at the moment, I suspect, is a bit of stability. You can see that another slip's gone in now. Theo Lawson joining the cordon outside Hoey. Who's outside Garth? Who's outside Lawson? No, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Nicely played out in the offside. Bit more circumspect for this delivery. So, which ball of the over? Little quiz. Which ball of the over is going to be the bouncer? 5th or 6th? Okay. Stapleton coming in. And looks for the edge, found the edge. There's an appeal. He's waiting for the bats. Oh. Not out. Saying bat, hit pad. Well, that's 2 decisions now. Stapleton. Actually, do you know what? I haven't heard Nick complain about any decision after a game. Anytime I've spoken to him, he's never spoken about, you know, what went wrong.
The cable was the first problem. The wind was the second. Freaking ridiculous. Thank you very much.
Well, normal service is resumed now, and you watch, there won't be a contentious decision amongst them. Another leg by, another big appeal. Well, Pembroke is starting to feel hard done by. Well, explanations being given, questions being asked.
See that one, Craig?
That one's on the screen. You can look at that one again. It's homemade. It's in the air. And it's been spilled. Pusharma diving forward, couldn't quite get that.
Very suspicious.
Because all the others have been eaten. The lucky one was safe. I made the car park, that's how strong the wind is. Well, this one goes through on the leg side. He'll have to bowl that one again. Might not be too bad a thing either. Well, I have to say, I haven't been at a game this season where I've seen quite as many jumpers. Oh, what a jaffer. What a way to finish your fourth over. 4 for 1 off 4. Now having a discussion with the umpire. I say discussion. The umpire's asking what it was missing. Nick's telling him it was missing nothing. Well, that's the end. I think that's the end of a good spell for Stapleton. He'll be around to mop up the tail later on. 1 for 4 off 4. And now Mickle Wright bowling his fourth. He's been clipped away on the leg side. There's no fielder that's going to stop that. Runs into the hedge. And that'll take the score on to 24 for 2. Well, this is the 8th over. 3 and over isn't really what civil service are looking for. This time it's played out to the leg side, but with a little less force, but still a single. .25 for 2 now. I suppose at the end of the over I could do something useful. Oh, thank you. Evening. This has been a super opening spell from the 2 Pembroke openers. Stapleton only going for 4. Mickle Wright a bit more expensive, but he's posed threats. And he has also picked up that second wicket that Pembroke were looking for. Trying not to let any partnerships develop during the course of this innings. That's the trick. Well, another leg by. Question being asked in the field there, I don't know if he picked that up. What shot did he play there for the leg by? And the answer is not a very good one. Afternoon to Joe. Sure, he's recuperating by watching this game. In fact, I'd say he's chomping at the bit to get back down here. If he could bowl under this sort of cloud cover, he'd be going sideways around corners. But again, another one we're glad is on the road to recovery. Zach fielding off his own bowling, preventing the run. End of the over. 8 overs gone. 26 for 2 on the board. Siddiqui, well, he's faced 4. He's not off the mark yet. And Joshi on 16. So, first change of bowling for Pembroke now. Sharma now to come on from the nursery end. I don't know. You're perfect in every way, Donica. Just nudging into the edge of the screen. So do spread the word if you've come across this game via Twitter. A retweet of that details and link to this broadcast would be appreciated. Always an absolute pleasure to see so many people tuned in. Certainly not a day for coming down the wall. Pooh Sharma comes in. Oh, one thudding past the gloves of Holland. It'll run away for a bye. And this will be where Civil Service will be looking to capitalise and cash in on the change bowling. And that will give opportunities to Pooh Sharma for wickets. This one gets past the diving Tucker. But again, because of the recent rain, he thought he had a chance of pulling that out inside the rope, but didn't quite make it. 4 off the bat. But again, as I say, he has this unerring knack of being able to take wickets when required. He could be committing bank fraud as we speak, I don't know. That one goes a little wide for the batsman. He wanted to just run it down to third. Didn't quite work out for him. Another one that thuds past Hollis's gloves, runs away, will be another bye. Sharma picking up some pace and bounce here.
Perry.
.25 overs aside this game. There's an answer that came just 25 minutes too late for James Cresswell. Well, going back to our opening bowler, Nick Stapleton, one has to say, to get such a compliment from possibly the rudest woman in the club. full toss, signalled as a wide down the leg side. Nicky Bell has sent in a text. Nick Stapleton is the ultimate professional and gentleman. Never seen anyone with such ability to actually get Jake Bell to listen and follow instructions. He is quite a legend in the Bell household. Well, that's the sort of gentleman that Nick Stapleton certainly comes across as. Absolute pleasure to watch him play cricket, but also chat with him afterwards off the pitch. He might have the ability to get Jake to listen and follow instructions. I'd like to have seen him try it in last year's 5th 11. So 9 overs gone now. Civil Service has moved on to 34 for 2. They're certainly not making the progress they would have wanted. And it looks like it'll be Micklewright to bowl his 5th, and I suspect final over. So if Nick's parents are listening as well, as they often are watching. Oh, this one just, ooh. I don't know how to describe that shot. Strange one. Remember, you can get in touch with us on the YouTube chat. Well, many of you out there would have my Twitter or phone number, whether you wanted it or not. Oh, good fielding from, oh my word. He's got him. What a marvellous piece of fielding by the bowler. 3rd wicket falls. It falls to Micklewright. It won't ever appear in his bowling figures, but that's one he can especially be proud of. That's one where he might watch that again and again. Well, I'd say there was a loud cheer down in East London, I think I remember them saying. But many congratulations. Well, let's see what happens with Niall's replay here. Well, just played out the leg side. Sent back, but the throw is accurate and sharp. And in case of this Civil Service batsman, well, he is left-handed.
Well, that's why I have to turn.
Yeah. And that is beautiful work. That's the angle. That's the clip. That's the one that will be racing around on WhatsApp groups all over South Africa tonight. And deservedly so. What a fine bit of cricket. Well, that's 3 wickets down now, 34 on the board. Josh is still there, as he has been from the start. And he's now been joined by the big left-hander. Well, left-hander to left-hander now. Just played away on the leg side. Captain Theo Lawson picking up there. Yeah, the first 11 had a tricky tie up in Warringstown last weekend. But the good part of the weekend, as far as they were concerned, was their victory over Phoenix, one of their closest competitors for this league. And it was a good win for Pembroke and put them 2 games ahead. Now, at the end of the over, we'll do a short around the grounds. We know, for instance, that the entire interprovincial T20 festival in Breedy has been washed out. And J.S. Higgins was saying out of 26 games that have been scheduled there since 2018. 7 have been completed, and 17 have been abandoned without a ball being bowled. Whew. It's a wet part of the country. Many thanks to Jer Siggins for the stat attack. 25. Well, we'll quickly go around the grounds. There's no other cricket being played. There we go. That was quick. Just here in Sydney Parade, where a little bit of rain is falling, the umpires are conferring. Civil Service, I'd say, from the site of 34 for 4, will be particularly keen to go off. Umpires at the moment are willing to stay on, and we remain the only game in town. Paul Lawson now from the nursery end with his particular brand of off-spin. Nearly getting that one through. Paul, who doesn't waste any time, through his over. Keen to get on with it. You see, even the cameraman's putting up an umbrella now. It could be. Well, that one just played away on the leg side, fielded, another dot ball. As I say, Lawson getting through his over very quickly. Trying to play this one past the keeper. The rain coming down a lot heavier and a lot more horizontally now. And it looks like this game is going to fall by the wayside for the moment as well. Played away on the offside past the fielder. It's not going to make the fence. There's 2 fielders after it, and Fiacre Tucker, he does the hard work, so you don't have to. 2 off the bat, 2 off the over. Super over this from Lawson. Pembroke now into the 11th over. Well, a big blow. He's gone for it out towards Cal. It bounces in front of the fielder. Super over from Lawson. Quick change around from Pembroke. They're counting on this just being a quick shower. Amanda? See the yellow car?
Somebody's been talking.
See over that, the one with the grass?
Oh, sorry, yes.
Graham Mooney's been on anyway.
Well, we have a...
Also ability, Graham.
Just wondering where is the warning to bowler, and Dale will be having words. Warning about what? And Dale is here. Anything else, Ray?
37 for 3 now off 11. Well, they're racing along at a run rate of 3.36. The umpires are conferring. Theo just hanging around in the area. Umpires saying, no, I'm happy if you're happy. It's definitely got a little bit brighter anyway. Gavin Hoey now from the St John's end. One comes off the edge straight away. Left-hander, big changes in the field. All the boundary riders except Fiacre Tucker now. Fiacre Tucker is at about 2 o'clock on your screen, and the rest are at 7, 8, 9, 10. This one played straight back to Hoey. And you can see how keen Pembroke are getting back to the mark very quickly. Another dot ball. Again, the spinners proving to be, once again, the strength. Another one played straight back to the bowler. One flies off the edge of Shetty's bat. Pooh Sharma does the fielding. Another dot ball and just one remaining in the over. What a fine first over this has been for Gavin Hoey. Well, commiserations, of course, to Gareth Delaney, who's missing out in the qualifying tournament in Edinburgh. That's another good over for Pembroke. 12 gone now, 38 on the board. And even a run rate of 3.36 couldn't be sustained.
They're getting wet. Yeah, they're a bit
Are you rubbing them? Because I can feel it in my ear.
They're okay, get a tiny bit down.
yeah, they're quite a little bit down.
They don't want to be dripping wet. But when you're doing that, I feel it in my ear. Paul Lawson now to continue. Another over from the nursery end. The rain is coming down now. We're now reaching, it shouldn't be happening stage. But it is happening. As yeah, well, you're having to cope with just the single camera at the moment. We're not willing to put a cameraman out in that. You wouldn't even put a cameraman out in that weather.
I'd have to rearrange all to get them lowered up to
Has Mr. Mooney been on again?
yeah. So exactly
Oh, right. No, I didn't notice. Don't worry about these things. That's what we've got umpires for. Played away out in the offside, and finally Shetty decides he has to take a single, and he does. He gets that one, brings the right-hander on strike, brings a few changes in the field, and the rain isn't easing off at the moment. No. Hit out, long on. They thought about two, but the fielding is sharp enough to make sure they can't take two. How Lawson is getting any grip on this ball at the moment is beyond me. The only way you could get grip on that is to be an Australian. Oh, that's a big swipe out in the offside. Pooh Sharma's chasing after it. I don't know if he's going to pull it up in front of the rope. He has. He's going to save a run anyway. Brings the left-hander back on strike. .43 for 3 now in the 13th over. Lawson going round the wicket. He's eager, having to be held back. Well, that's sliced away on the offside, out to the boundary rider down there. He returns it by throwing it underarm. The cloth comes out. You almost need one of those little Black & Decker hairdryers to try and get it dry again. Wiping it with a damp cloth doesn't usually work. He's got him this time. Big swipe across the line. Lawson takes the wicket. That's the 4th one down, and it makes a very sort of, well, interesting scoreline. 44 for 4 after 13. Civil Service, well, they're succumbing as much to the... Oh, was I ready for what? That one? Here's Lawson's wicket again. Well, dead straight, dead on the foot, despite the batsman trying to rearrange the furniture by moving his foot slightly to the left. I think it was more a balance thing and deliberate. There was no need for the umpire to think, and he was on his way. Now, one left-hander remains there, Mr. Shetty, and Gavin Hoey comes into bowl. Tries to play it around the corner for a single. No success there. We'll give you the new batsman's name as soon as the scorer gives us the new batsman's name. They've managed to play through the rain. Well, this one again played away on the offside. Pooh Sharma doing a neat bit of fielding. Well, Pembroke have used their bowlers very well so far. And it's reflected in the scoreline. 44 for 4. There was a bit of choice there for the Pembroke captain. Single taken. You surrendering? Well, the new batsman, S. Singh. Confidently plays that out into a large gap on the leg side, takes the single. Now the left-hander facing again. Just 2 off the over from Hoey. Score has moved on 46 for 4 after 14. 11 overs left now. And suddenly that target, that par target I was talking about, where a runner ball from the start over 25 overs would get you to 150. One has to worry. If they're going to reach those sort of heights, they're certainly going to have to go after things now. Thanks for the thanks, Gordony. Glad to see you're watching rather than netting. Although I'm sure that will be later on. Paul Lawson now. He has figures of 1 for 9 from his 2 overs. He picked up that wicket, that LBW. You can see how keen he is to get on with these overs. Pembroke feeling they can afford to rush through now. Very much on top. 46 for 4 civil service. And with no other cricket being played in Leinster, a win for either team would make such a difference to their team's challenge for this year. Civil service would love to win a second game, having won their first game in the championship earlier this year against North Kildare. They'd love a second win, and especially against the league leaders. Pembroke as well, of course, would like to steal a march on their competitors whose games were called off today. This one just flicked around on the leg side. They'll take a single. That'll bring the score up to 48. Yeah, civil service involved in a dogfight at the bottom. And Pembroke involved in the chase for that automatic place back to the Premiership for the 2024 season. This one, a bit full from Lawson. Gets past the bemused Pooh Sharma. And is picked up on the boundary, but that won't stop them picking up a couple. That's as far as it goes. I can move the whole thing, though. How much more do you want?
Yeah, just chip box. Just jump it away.
50 up for civil service now. It's taken them 15 overs. But there is 50 on the board. Just 10 overs of this first innings to go now, this civil service innings. Hoey goes again. Big swipe. Not to much effect, though. Sometimes these reduced over games, of course, can be of great advantage to the underdog. Hoey getting that one to go the other way. You can see what the batsman's trying to do. He's just trying to shovel it around the corner and get off strike, which, let's be honest, is probably a wise thing to do today. And when it's on the offside like that, he's trying to just play it down to Pooh Sharma. Pooh and Theo protecting that clubhouse from shots behind square on the offside. Like that. This one comes off the shoulder. Good fielding from Sharma. Nicely played. A good faster ball from Hoey. It's not that long ago he was a seam bowler, but difficulties and injuries led him to investigate other avenues. And when you've got the premier leg spinner in the country living in the same household, well, it took a few hours of training and practicing, but now he's turned into certainly one of the brightest prospects Ireland has, and that's even without mentioning his excellent batting. Fine all-round cricketer, and he's doing a good job for Pembroke today. Lawson now again from the nursery end. Let's see how quick this over is. Oh, that one goes straight past where, well, goes straight down the throat of where first slip would have been. Well, good bit of teamwork fielding at the end. But that one just, if only there'd been a slip in place, you say. Is it always worth having a slip? No, not always. I think I'd like one now, though. This one finds the fielder. Mickle right out of the boundary there, over by the equipment shed. Keeps it down to a single. This left-hand, right-hand combination certainly keeping everyone on their toes in the field. This one, well, I don't know how that missed, what it missed, or when it missed, or... Three balls gone in this over already. Taking on the fielder. He's been looking to play a big shot down the ground, and again he's found the fielder. His frustration is only going to grow, and that's only going to present more opportunities to the Pembroke fielders. .56 for 4. Oh, Lawson just dragging the batsman forward, but not quite enough to let Hollins do his thing. Singh is on 8 now. Shetty is on 8 off 26 deliveries in this very limited over game. 25 overs aside, it's been reduced to by the weather. Whilst most of Europe is sweltering under record temperatures. I heard 48 degrees in Spain yesterday. I mean, really. Oh, hit in the air. Hit a long way in the air and hit for 6. Well, he's been looking for that big shot, and finally he's found it. Unfortunately for Hoey, it was off his bowling, but the frustration was building. It was going to go one way or the other. Now, when is a batsman most vulnerable? Sometimes it's after he's just hit a 6. Nice fielding, keeps it down to a single. Brings the right-hander back on strike. Another dot ball. How important those are at this stage of the innings. With just 7.5 overs to go, you got a feeling that Civil Service have got to start pressing the accelerator, start looking for some more runs, and they were, and they can't, and he's stumped. Well, you could see the intent from the batsman. He felt the accelerator certainly had to be pressed, but making no contact with the ball. Hollins made contact with the stumps with the ball, and Singh is on his way for 8 from 11. 63 for 5 now. Pembroke will be looking to capture these next 5 wickets as soon as possible. I don't know about you out there. I'd be considering bringing Stapleton back for his remaining overs. Well, good work from Hollis. Not easy to take from that high up. And he knew he'd got his man, and the umpire concurred. So 63 for 5 now. Civil Service. And hurry to continue. And by continue, I mean take another wicket. Well, he bowled in what looked to be the wrong one. He got round the defences of the batsman, Chandrasekhar, and he lost just the 1 ball, and he's on his way back, and 65 for 4 suddenly becomes 65 for 6. I said they wanted to take the wickets quickly, wasn't quite expecting that, and now Gavin Hoey finds himself on a hat-trick.
How are you, bro?
Well, it was the wrong one. It got past the defences. The gate closed. Unfortunately, by that stage, the ball was passed. And that's a super delivery. 2 in 2 then for Hoey. Played away on the offside. Well fielded. Dot ball. That's the hat-trick ball gone, though. But it is the end of the over. And with 16 gone, Gavin Hoey finds himself 2 for 10 off 4, and it's 63 for 6. Lawson's going to go for another over now from the nursery end in a sort of blink and you'll miss it speed. He's going round the wicket now to the left-hander. The left-hander not going through the fuss of moving the sight screen. Yeah, but this left-hander, he's not too worried about where the sight screen is, to be honest with you. He digs that one out on the leg side, pushes through for the single. That's all it is. A couple of pre-programmed changes in the field. Lovely length there from Lawson. Is inviting the big shot and then taking it away with the dip. Again, Jarachandra, he's doing well to keep these out at the moment. Big blow, takes it out towards Cal, gets him off the mark. And brings Shetty back on strike. He's very aware, I think, at the moment that he's been in for 29 deliveries. He's only scored 16. But he certainly wants to go big now. And instead, he's found the fielder. Zach Micklewright taking the catch for Paul Lawson. And that's the 7th wicket down with the score on 65. Well, Shetty did realise that he needed to get on with it if Civil Service were to post any sort of total they could defend. And instead he has perished for 16 with the score on 65 for 6. As the next batsman comes out with the enthusiasm of a 13-year-old getting his first homework, we'll have a quick look at the card. Oh, sorry, Niall. And you can see nobody really getting underway for Civil Service. And there's the fall of the wicket. Zach Micklewright doing a super job keeping his eyes on it, keeping himself steady. Solid base. Took the catch. 7 down, 65 on the board. Well, one delivery left for Lawson. New batsman, Thambi. This one, full toss, that's played round the corner for a dot ball, end of the over. 17 gone, and the score has moved on to 65 for 7. As I say, no other cricket being played in Leinster at this stage. And with the women's final over at Wimbledon, as you can guess, our viewing figures have gone through the roof. Many thanks to those of you who have liked or retweeted the tweet with the link to this broadcast. You can find that at CraigPCC. Just checking the number of fielders in the circle for Hoey. He'll now attempt to bamboozle Jayashandran. Coming in at number 9 today, or number 8 today. Either way, Hoey will be looking to get past his defences quickly. Fires one in. Thuds into the keeper's gloves. And that wasn't a replay, that was the next delivery. And he also is getting through his over exceptionally quickly, or trying to. Won't help with the wide. Well, that's hit out on the offside. It's going to run away to the boundary. And it gets pulled up just inside. JJ Garth, I think, doing the chasing, the diving, the throwing. Well, fair play to the umpires and to both teams, but mostly to the groundsman, Dale McDonough, for letting us see some cricket today. Nearly hit straight back to the bowler. Well, half-hearted appeal for a half-hearted reason. No wicket with the last ball. Just the 3 runs coming from that over. 68 for 7 now after 20 as we head into the last 5 overs of this championship clash between Civil Service and Pembroke. Due to be a 50-over game. The rains and the winds and everything else, God conspired to keep this part of Europe underwater, whilst the rest of Europe is under shelter. Fir Kratucker now, 5th bowler to be used today, coming on at the nursery end. He's replacing Paul Lawson. Still loads of threatening clouds around. There's no guarantee we'll get to finish this game. But whatever happens, we'll bring it to you here. Start with the wide. A sighter, shall we call it? Perhaps it's a Donald Clisman-esque over. Great to see Donald back at nets on a Wednesday. Getting a bit of exercise, bit of fresh air. Honest looking for the stumping. It's not there for him. Score now, of course, 69 for 7. Good afternoon, James. This one beating batsman, keeper, stumps and fielder. Fielder does get to it before it reaches the rope. Well, many thanks for the comment, Joe. No. The rush game still holds a special part of me that I will never get back. Another dot ball. Just 3 off the over so far. Score's moved on to 71. And again, water coming down. I wouldn't even call it rain. Water is coming down as the fielder goes round for it, makes the big dive. Well, he may not have taken the catch, but he's kept it to a single. That looked, for all accounts, that once he missed it, it would have gone for 4, but Zach getting enough of it, or enough on top of it, to prevent it going for the boundary. As we return to one camera land due to the state of the meteorological conditions at the moment. Or in English, it's raining. Bit short from Tucker this time. It's pulled out to the square leg boundary where Sharma will do the fielding. End of the over, 21 gone, just 4 to go in this 25 over a side truncated game. Truncated. And it looks like a change of bowling as well at the St John's end. The left arm orthodox spin of Donald Tucker. He's coming on now. And again, whilst Civil Service are searching for runs, thinking that 73 is not enough, it will give Tucker an opportunity. He's got to know they're going to be after him here. Big Hoyt gets an inside edge, comes around to Sharma, who fires at the stumps, but they get safely through for the single. 74 on the board now. Well, will we get this game completed? Well, you get better odds at the bookmaker. But at the moment, I'd say it's about even. There's nothing more. Oh, he's asking for that. It's a very slow bat to come across. There's a lot of clapping going on. There's high-fiving going on. And there's a batsman departing very slowly. Well, that was just tossed up there. Donica Tucker turned straight round to the umpire, asked the question. Well, because of the weather conditions, we're not quite able to bring you a replay at the moment. But rest assured, 8 down, 74 on the board in this, the 22nd over. Many thanks to the 42 of you still watching. It'd be great if you dropped us a line to let us know where you're watching from. Always interested to see who's tuning in. Already know about Joe Prendergast and Gordon Clark and Mary Sharp. And a nice text as well from the Honorary Secretary. Pushed away on the offside. There is a fielder out there, trust me. Just while the weather is throwing down so much precipitation, and fair play to all the players involved for wanting to get through a game. We are just down to the one camera at the moment. We hope you're still enjoying this. Well, you can sense now that Civil Service realise they have to score runs wherever they can, however they can. 75 for 8, 76 for 8. Gunnar Seelan cracks it away on the offside, just bat on ball really. It's enough to bring up another single. Yeah, but I wasn't touching anything. Oh, at the top. So to bowl the 23rd over, it will be Fiacre Tucker from the top end. Many thanks for the appreciation out there. Loads of love. To say, it's rare we have such a cold and windy day to commentate. Usually it's beautiful sunshine and we love doing it. And we love doing it anyway. It's today's like today that really are the test. And yet here we are, hiding under a flapping gazebo. Anyone want to donate a greenhouse? Played out and caught at mid-wicket. Soft signal out. And it's out. Yes, 9 down, 77 for 9. The fielder signalled that he'd caught it. The umpire put his finger up, and the other umpire also put his finger up. And that's the end of Gunnar Seelan. And he's departed for just 2. And that's 9 wickets down now. Another wicket, or a first wicket today for Fiacre Tucker. And here it is here. Played away. Now, what do you make of this? I made it as a clear catch. It's taken well above, hands below. That's fine by me. The umpires are happy as well. And that brings S. Joggy to the pitch. Out to the middle with his side in a bit of trouble. 77 for 9. And Fiacre Tucker looking to wrap this innings up. Well, he's got overs to play with. If his first intent is to make sure that Civil Service bat the overs, he's going about it the right way. If he wants to see them reach 100, he's going to have to swing the leather. Willow. He does, and he pumps it over extra. It might just be a single, but it shows some intent. And he's not just going to hang around. And that will bring Jaya Chandran back onto strike. Wind picking up again now, as you can hear from Dougal. And, oh, Tucker's put him down. Caught and bowled chance goes down. Once you saw the hands flapping, you knew he was in trouble. Would have been very good. But the chance goes down. But will it make any difference? Well, yes, it will. Another run on the board anyway, as that one falls into some vacant grass. And it's the end of the over, and Civil Service are now 79 for 9. Lovely delivery to start the over from Tucker. Moving with a speed. Two dot balls to start with. He's decidedly keen. Well, Jaya Chandran. He knows he's only got one partner left. He knows that Pembroke are rushing these overs. And he knows his side needs some runs. And that one's hit down to long on. One bounce, just a single. And Donegal will have one more delivery now at the number 11. Oh, nearly picks up the wicket with the last super delivery. Over up, 24 gone. Well, we'll just see one more over of this innings, and can Pembroke end it by taking the 10th wicket? Oh, how many runs are Civil Service going to get to? I suspect it'll be a quick change around between innings. 10 minutes, do you think? I mean, they've already had breakfast, lunch, tea and dinner.
Pembroke won't be trying to chase this at 25 either.
No, Pembroke will be looking at it. Well, is it on wickets fallen or how quickly you get there?
Wickets fall from London.
Yeah. So they might be a little more cautious than you'd think.
Oh,
Don't see that often. Pushed away. Nothing more. Well, he's gone big with that one, and we already know that Zach can take catches, and he takes that one, and that's the end of the innings. And Pembroke have taken all 10 wickets, and Civil Service find themselves all out for 81 in the last over. 25 overs to get to 81. It's a run rate of 3.31, and the Pembroke batsmen, well, they're rushing inside to get their pads on as soon as possible. They want to make sure they get out here now and get to that target before any more rain can intervene. Hiya, Josh. Hiya, Josh. You hear the noise of Dale and his roller coming on. So we'll lower the temperature on those ones and let Niall run you through his highlights package.
the last wicket first.
First of all, we'll start with the last wicket to fall.
Wait for them to.
Oh, yeah. Just a massive hoik across the line. He's got underneath it, plenty of height. He was looking for 6, but instead it found the safe hands of Zach Micklewright. Had a super day. Wicket with the ball, a couple of super steepling catches, and that's the 10th wicket. And now as the umpires make their way off and the groundsman does his work on the front, are we going with highlights first or with the card?
Give them the cards.
We'll go with the card, says the director. So, in a desperate attempt to stop you turning over to the golf during this break, there's a card that doesn't make particularly great reading for the Civil Service side. They nearly got to the end of their allocated 25 overs. But apart from Joshi at the top of the innings and Shetty, nobody else making double figures apart from Eddie the extras. 81 all out in the 25th over. Now, looking at it from the other point of view, Pembroke bowling, 7 bowlers used, just Micklewright, Lawson and Hoey going through their full allocations. Pooh Sharma, well, he was unlucky just to get the 1 over in the end. But once the ball was thrown to the spinners, well, they picked up 7 wickets between them. Lawson 2 for 21, Gavin Hoey 2 for 13, and Fia Krataka 2 for 6. Donna Krataka just 1 for 5. And of the seam men, well, Zach, as I say, took a couple of nice steepling catches, and also 1 for 19 from his 5 overs. But again, Nick Stapleton at the top there. 1 maiden, 4 runs and 1 wicket. 1 for 4 off 4. I mean, that's super in a 25 over game. 13 extras is something Pembroke might want to look at in the future. But for the moment, we know that they have to chase this particular worm. It's going to be quite a horizontal worm, really. Slowly but surely making its way. Obviously, that opening partnership, well, even they had a maiden in the early stages. A couple of wickets falling in their 17th over. And that really took the steam out of the tail as well. So there you go. That's where we are at the moment. I'm sure the...
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah. You can do it for a second.
There's the match summary as it stands. And we hope you'll stay with us now as we take you through the highlights of the first innings. As we wait for the second innings. This was a superb piece of fielding. Of course, we only got the replay machine after technical difficulties, but this is the bit of tape that you really need to see. Did so well. Direct hit onto the middle stump. Paul Lawson picking up an LBW as the batsman pushed his foot outside the line. Nice piece of work from Hollis, that was. Batsman had been dragged down, the back foot came out, and there was no chance of him getting back. Howie with the one that just went the other way between bat and pad. Cleaned him up very nicely indeed. Beautiful delivery and a lovely one for a leg spinner to see. Lawson then. He was a beneficiary of the hands of Zach. That was Shetty. He knew he had to get on with it at that stage. And Zach just plucked it out of the air. No difficulty at all. And then Tucker, well, he picked up two. First was this one, caught at mid-wicket. This was the one where there was a question. No question in our minds, or the umpire's minds, or even the batsman's mind. But it's one where everybody said, no, that was out. And then Tucker again. And this time, he's the beneficiary of Zach's super hands. Takes this one so cleanly. A little bit of moving around, adjusting for the wind, but there, safely on balance. Dale about to run over the stumps. So that was the highlights of the first innings. We can see from your screen that Pembroke will be opening with the traditional Diarmid Tucker and Jonathan Garth. And we hope you'll join us when this second inning starts in just a couple of minutes. Well, that was a quick break, wasn't it? Nature called. You come back and they're back on the pitch playing. I've had longer drinks breaks. Still, both sides keen to get in, get out, get off again. Civil Service will be looking to take 10 wickets, and they've opened with Siddiqui. Well, that's good backing up. Pembroke on the board after 3 deliveries. And you can see the equation there at the bottom of your screen. 81 required from 24.5 overs. 3.31 is the important figure. Well, that's been lifted over slip. It's going to run away. Nobody's going to stop that. It goes for 4, right down at the nets. And it was just lifted over slip's head. And our director says the rain is coming down once more. Be a shame not to finish this game now. Just dropped down, single taken. Could be overthrows, there will be overthrows. Careless fielding from Civil Service has cost them there. And another bit of backing up required. Well, it's miserable conditions, but it's interesting cricket to watch. How are Pembroke going to go after this chase to get full points? They have to get there without losing a wicket, or something like that. As I see Niall trying to cover his camera with a black plastic bag. There should really be some sort of spray, waterproof spray that doesn't affect electronics. I'm sure that's unusual. Oh, this one's a leading edge. It's gone up in the air. Well, it's a catch. The first wicket falls. Jonathan Garth departs for 6. Gets a leading edge, and he's caught it mid-off, and that's the first wicket. Civil Service will be pleased with that start. 7 for 1, though, in the first over.
Oh.
Well, the next batsman in doesn't mind the cold. It will be Dermid Tucker to face, and it's Nick Stapleton who's come in to join him. He obviously believes in global warming. Why don't you just pull the tie strings? Two slips in place then. Bowler at the St John's End, Thamby. We saw him at the tail end of the Civil Service innings. It's played out on the leg side for a single. Thamby now thinking about taking off the jumper, deciding to keep it on. And the wicketkeeper deciding to stand up to the stumps. Going to put the helmet on. As if Civil Service can claim another 9 wickets or restrict Pembroke and come out of this with a win, it'll be a big help for their chances of remaining in the championship for season 2024. Well, Stapleton has whacked that away. 4 runs straight away. He's not hanging around today. Well, it's in the bush there somewhere. I hate that bush. It's one of the spiky ones in front of the bar. Dug one of those out a couple of years ago. Not that one, obviously. We gave that one a second life, and now it's repaying us by hiding the ball. They found it. We can continue. The score now 12 for 1 off 1.2 overs. And for those of you interested in such stats, the required run rate has dropped below 3, and the bowler has indeed taken his jumper off. I don't know if he's blaming the previous delivery on the fact he kept his jumper on. Slight change in the field for Stapleton. Mid-on goes back to long on. This one played with a very straight bat on the offside. There'll be no run. No need. 5 off the over so far. Many thanks to Peter Marshall, talking about PTFE sprays, Teflon. My only question is, would it be like Goldfinger? If I sprayed myself entirely in that stuff, would I then pass away on a hotel bed in Vegas? Well, Stapleton certainly has some intent about him tonight. This one is smacked out, and it's the long-on fielder who takes it. They come through for an easy 2. Stapleton hoping to get to this total quite quickly. Happy birthday to Peter Marshall during the week. Wednesday, I think it was. Did bump into him at nets. I wasn't at nets, I was just in the vicinity. Stapleton, he's onto that shot far too early. He gets the toe edge of the bat to it, and it just runs down to the SMC sight screen. 4 runs, 6, 4 by signalled. I thought he got a nick on that, but evidently not. So it'll go in the book as a dot, but it will add 4 more to the score, and that means that 11 have come off that over. And the score now off 2 overs, 18 for 1. That 1 wicket fall, of course. Jay Garth, he looked to push it on, got a leading edge as the ball just didn't come on to him as he wanted. And that went up in the air and was caught at mid-on. That was the 1 wicket to fall so far. Just played away on the offside. Throw in, evades the keeper, but is well backed up. Just the single. Civil Service, of course, based in the Phoenix Park. Just slightly closer to town than Phoenix Cricket Club. The other side of the dock pond. Always a good teas and warm welcome there in Civil Service. Always enjoyed the buffet. We all have favourite grounds and least favourite grounds. Peter Marshall now, of course, into his 38th year. Won't thank me for that one, though, will you? This one thuds into the pads. The batsmen are wide awake. They take the leg by. Throw is at the non-striker's end from the keeper. Leg by, one more onto the total. The 6-11 from Pembroke are heading out to Greystones tomorrow to play what I hope is a 40-over game, because I'm taking my weights. And myself and Charlie, once again, will be bringing the average age up into double figures. That's not out, despite the appeal. Too high, too leg side-ish. Pembroke Greystones playing. Meet time 12:15. Is that? I presume that's 12:15 down that. Oh, 11 a.m. Pembroke. Right. See you at 11 a.m. tomorrow. We'll head off to Greystones and hope that the weather is better than it's been today. I too, Honorary Secretary, do have my reservations about the advice of Peter Marshall. Oh, that's a super delivery. And the wicketkeeper looks then for the Johnny Bairstow dismissal. Not to happen on this occasion. Over is up. And the score after 3 overs now has moved on to 24 for 1. Well, Pembroke runs required is down as low as 58 already. They have 22 overs to get that. Also, I will say to the Honorary Secretary, very rarely watch movies these days. Sporting events and gentle reality television. The great Sewing Bee, Bake Off, the pottery one. And then every sporting event I can find. Clubbed away on the offside behind square. Well, there's some serious attempt about Nick Stapleton today. It's pulled up inside the rope. Well done by the civil service fielders. Never gave up on it. Never surrendered. And they managed to save a run. And every run, absolutely vital, especially when you're trying to defend 81. This time it's Chucker who fires it, but it's straight to a fielder. No single there. As we come to the, well, what Pembroke will hope is the finishing straight. 55 more runs. The only way civil service can stop them is by taking 10 wickets. Well, that fielder might not be best placed to appeal for a stumping. More a case of congratulating his wicketkeeper, I think, on a job well done. Pembroke currently going along at 7.7 and over. It really does show you that they're keen to get through before any more weather can cause further disruption of this game. Chasing ones that wide as well. Again, the wicketkeeper goes for it, but it's a wide. Another one that Pembroke don't have to get.
Just a reminder, it is fine. That's the,
That's the sound.
especially after I move
I know, I
camera
do keep an
of,
eye on
like,
it.
Just sort of every day.
Just to make sure it's there.
Exactly, yeah, as long as it's back away.
Well, this one's right up in the air. Fielders are converging. One has called for it, and it's gone through his hands. And Dermot Tucker survives. Picks up another single. It wasn't quite there for him to pick up on. And the fielder will be slightly disappointed with himself. Well, I don't think it will put any dent in Pembroke's intentions. This is a slower ball, and Stapleton has lifted it straight to the fence. It's gone for 6. It's not a no ball, Nick. It's been signalled as a no ball. I thought he had to reach a long way down the wicket to get to it. I don't know. Anyway, 6 from the delivery. 1 for the no ball. And Stapleton is looking to break the back of this challenge very quickly. His race is more against the weather than it is against civil service, one feels at the moment. Free hit. No damage. Damage had been done with the free hit. 13 coming from the over so far. 1 ball left to go. This one comes off the edge, flying past the flying fielder, running away towards the covers, and this time it does reach them. 4 more onto the total. The score goes on to 40 for 1. That's the 4th over. Pembroke are going along quite nicely at 10 and over. They require 42 more runs from 21 overs. And for the mathematicians amongst you, they need 2 and over. Expensive over that. 17 coming from it. This is Dermot Tucker's drop. He got away with one here. Well, Stapleton then. Yeah, I don't know what it was a no ball for. And there's the flying fielder, failing to stop the flying ball. Good over for Pembroke, not so good for civil service. 40 for 1 now from 10 overs. Siddiqui to continue. And this one comes flying off the edge of the bat. Nothing's going to stop that, hitting into the fence. 4 more runs for Dermot Tucker. He moves on to 12. Takes him over a runner ball as well, or to a runner ball. He's proving the perfect foil, and he's making the most of his life. Given to him last over, but this time he cracked it away to the fence, the sign of a man in form, and he is. He's been so consistent for Pembroke this year, opening the innings is. Ball finally gets back to the bowler. 44 for 1. They're over halfway. This one is just pushed past the keeper. Well, it was pulled up in front of the boundary. Weather precautions today, meaning you couldn't quite see the fielder there. But 2 leg byes go on to the score, and already 6 from this over, and the rain is starting to fall again. And the question is, can Pembroke get 36 before the rain becomes too much for everybody? Players, officials, spectators, broadcasters. Played away on the offside, they'll just take a single. That's all it needs to be. Oh, you get the feeling the mood is in at the moment. Stapleton would love to finish this with 6 blows. The only player to have played in Irish cricket. He's hit 4 in a row on the international stage. Is Carlos Braithwaite, played for Leinster a few years ago. Stapleton looking to advance down the track to this bowler now. He's looking to take him on. Thank you very much to the eagle-eyed Joe Prendergast, who noticed there were 3 outside the ring in the power play, and that's why it was a no ball. Well, if you feel up to it during the week, Joe, or even come down and do the fourths tomorrow. Come and do a bit of commentary yourself. Well done, Luke Murray. Great to see lads paying attention. Well, it's just going to be a leg by, jogged through. Stapleton very quick to call. As we come towards the conclusion of this game now. 20 overs remaining. I don't think we're going to see all 20 of them, as Pembroke only require 33 more runs. 49 for 1 now off 5 overs, just the 9 off that over. The run rate dropping to 9.8, the required rate 1.65. But first and foremost, we have to thank the players and officials in this game who stuck around when it looked hopeless, when other grounds were being called off for standing water. The groundsman here, he had the whole square covered, and the run-ups did everything he could to make sure that this game was possible. The players were willing to stick around in the hope that things would improve, and they did to this extent. Still not a day you'd choose to come out, but they stuck around, and they're giving us this entertainment now this afternoon. As I say, I think it's the only game of cricket in Leinster today. So many thanks to everybody for that. Just played out in the offside, new bowler on, Bafanda. He's come on at the St John's end. Stapleton's already moved on to 20 from just 13 balls faced. He's got a high strike rate here already, and he's looking to do it again. He's gone very high on this one. There could be a fielder there for this, and he's taken it. And Stapleton annoyed with himself. Fine catch in the outfield. He's left himself, well, 5-7 yards short of the boundary. It was there to be hit. He just didn't get it the way he wanted to. And the wicket falls, and you can see the intent on the Pembroke team in the next batsman out to the middle, Gavin Hoey. Gavin Hoey to face now. Bafanda with figures of 1 for 1 from just the 2 deliveries. And the rain's starting to come down again now. And you can see why Pembroke have brought Hoey on. And that one bounces once just at cow corner, runs away for 4. And suddenly it's 28 required. Well, it's been an eventful over. Single wicket, 4 and dot. No two balls the same. And you know that Hoey has come out here with big intent. Well, he had the intent, but on this occasion he found the fielder, and suddenly Pembroke are 3 down. The score is 54 for 2. And at the moment, Dermot Tucker is the one that stands tall. So the pursuit of runs is costing Pembroke wickets. It's Fiacre. Double Tucker double. Umpire very quick shake his head and call over. And that was an over that had everything. 2 wickets, a boundary, 2 dots. And suddenly, things turned around a little bit for Civil Service and turned around a little bit for Pembroke. 54 for 3 after 6 overs. Run rate still well high enough. Plenty of time to get the required 28. Question is, who's going to put their hand up and say, I'll do that? Will it be Fiacre Tucker? Will it be Dermot Tucker? Never seen you on camera so much.
Well, I'm not.
I know, you are, but it's just a different camera. It's not being broadcast. Thanks, lads, for the interaction today. It's made it a lot more fun. Everyone who's got in touch, whether it be on the YouTube channel, or as many have done on WhatsApp. Played away on the offside. No run on this occasion. Probably a wise decision. Played away nicely on the leg side. They'll look for 2 here. I wonder how many times these two have batted together in the back garden. Johnny Bell fortifying himself against the cold, one feels. Making his way down Cyril's way. A couple of changes to the field now. Siddiqui to continue. This is his 4th over. 21 for 1. It's edged, but it's wide of first slip. And that has run away for a boundary. Very well placed. Just played it far enough away from the body to run it past first slip. And it was straight enough that nobody else was going to get that, despite valiant attempts. That brings the required number down to 22 now. 60 on the board for Pembroke for the loss of 3 wickets. Remember, if you do want to show your appreciation for the work Niall does here, if you are coming down to watch a game or meet for a game, he always welcomes a coffee. Hit out to Cal. A little bit agricultural, but they won't mind. It's at least 2 more. Will they take one on for the arm? No, they won't. No need to be rash. Just 2 there. Beautifully played out there. There's no man there, so once he saw the ball, it didn't matter how aerial he went. Well, all I can say is thank goodness for the wall. It's made a huge difference. We've managed to put a wall on the gazebo today, which has kept out most of the weather for us. This one is hit high in the air, high and straight. Lands in field, but has enough momentum to make it through the damp grass. That's another boundary. And this is really helping Pembroke's cause now. Just 16 required now. And the Tuckers, well, especially Dermot, are looking to steer Pembroke home. That's the end of the over. 7 overs gone now. The score has moved on 66 for 3. And you'd think at this stage that Pembroke are on course, but still liable to come across a submerged rock or two on their way back to harbour. Hello, Josh. Bafanda to continue from the St John's end. Oh, stifled appeals. Again, there's a big space out on the leg side. Man going back on the ring. Straight could be the way to go here again. Our camera seems to have shifted. No? Is that just because he's... Well, the picture has slipped off to one side, result of the wind and the moving of the sight screen, and that's a lovely sweep shot from Fiacre Tucker. Absolutely glorious. 4 more onto the total. Total reaches 70. And the runs required goes down to just a dozen. I'd love to see 3 more shots get them there. Niall just, since the moving of the sight screen, brings you a slightly more central picture. Goes back on this one, just pulls it into the leg side. There's nobody saving a single there. So they'll just trot through for 1. That will bring Dermot back on straight. And the score moves on to 71 for 3. Certainly no need to do anything silly here. Pembroke should get home. And we always say sport is unpredictable. Inside edge onto the pads, runs away, just in front of square. And yet another single picked up. For those of you who tuned in looking for fireworks and IPL hits, well, today hasn't been the day for it. We've seen some big shots, not too many from the civil service side. Nick Stapleton got hold of one very nicely. That's the end of the over. 8 overs are gone. 73 for 3. Just 9 more runs required now. Pembroke will be taking another victory in this campaign. Yet to taste defeat in the championship this year, as I do my very best to put some sort of curse on it. 9 required from 17 overs. That's Michael Clark territory. Probably Michael Sharp as well, actually. Civil service, well, they were put into bat by Pembroke, and it's paid off for Pembroke. Managing to bowl civil service out for 81 in the 25th over. And now in reply, well, Pembroke have shot off after this target, scoring it over 9 and over, and it's that sort of scoring rate that's cost them a few wickets. Leading edges, not quite getting to the ball. Quick running from Fiacre. 3 was on there to 1 that was just played to the clubhouse. That's how quick he is. It's not that far. It could have... Yeah, the whole sight screen could have been blown. I think it's about time somebody with a, I don't know, an engineering degree, perhaps their own company, should look at designing new, perhaps wider sight screens, or perhaps ones tailored to the needs of the broadcaster. Zebo doing its best to take off today. It's weighted down. I'd like to say just by me, but no, the big heavy metal weights are sitting on the legs to try and keep us safe. And Siddiqui now really looking to put Pembroke under pressure, but at the moment there's too many gaps in the field for him, and they're able to take singles here, there and everywhere. Already 4 off this over, and just 5 more required. Thank you very much to all of you for tuning in to this Pembroke Civil Service Championship game today. We're very lucky to get any cricket on at all. Now we'll be hoping the weather is better tomorrow. Pembroke fourths playing at home. Gordon Clark's regime proving fruitful this season. I don't. I could look it up. I could get a text about it, but Noel will be here, whether they're playing Australia or Adamstown.
Will he?
Oh, it's hit straight to the fielder at mid-on. Well, Dermot Tucker, he's fallen for 29, looking to get to the finish line. Pembroke only need 4 more, and he has to depart. I suppose it's one way of making sure you get your spot in the dressing room first. It looks Greg Hollis. No sign of Theode. Greg Hollins it is, confirmed by the scorers on live scoring, provided by Cricket Clubs. As you see the end of Tucker. He'd been there since the start. He'd seen us through to this stage. As I say, thank you very much for joining us in this broadcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you'd like and subscribe us on YouTube, it'd be brilliant. All you get is notifications. Well fielded, even though we're at the tail end of this game. Great to see the commitment of the fielder, throwing himself full length to stop that. And that's the end of the over. 9 overs gone, 79 for 4. If we just because I can, I'm going to show you the worm. It always makes Noah laugh that I enjoy that so much. And you can see there's a huge difference there. Pembroke on the cusp of victory now. They've done so well, these players, to get this game in tonight. As Greg Hollis just plays that one out in the offside. Only just arrived at the crease, quite entitled to do so. It's not like his side is in any trouble or anything. Many, many thanks to Niall, who not only came down here for the actual advertised start, and a little bit earlier than that, but stuck around. And when they started taking the covers off, started his work for the day. He likes cappuccinos best.
At least I was able to go and get one while we were waiting for the game.
You're going to end up with 8 pints of cappuccino next week. Played away on the offside by Hollis, but he finds the fielder. And the two that Pembroke require, well, will it be this over? And that should be enough. 2 required. And 2 got. And that is the end of the game. And Pembroke have won by 6 wickets in this truncated championship game at Sydney Parade between Pembroke and Civil Service. Well, we're delighted to have seen some cricket. Pembroke will be delighted. And that win will stretch their lead at the top of the table even further. And you know what? I think Civil Service actually enjoyed getting a game in, even if they were to come out on the wrong side of it. Well, just to take you through the batting card for Pembroke today. You can see Nicholas Stapleton, my goodness, he was annoyed with himself. Just didn't quite get enough strength on that one. And he ended up being caught. But it was Dermot Tucker's 29. And his partnership with Stapleton was really what broke the back of it. But everybody came out with intent, and everybody came out of it willing to take the bowlers on. Sorry? This is the Civil Service bowling. Well, they only had 10 overs. They only used 3 bowlers. And, well, 2 for 15 for Bafanda in the end. That would be the pick of the bowling. That was always going to be a tough one, trying to defend just 81 runs. Here's the worm. Well, one worm headed straight for the top. And despite slowing down, still had enough momentum to reach the finish line. This is how Pembroke, how the first innings fared. Civil Service. Nobody really getting in. Joshy hung around for a while, but then he succumbed the same way as Shetty to a need to try and improve that run rate of 3.25. And the story of the day for Pembroke really was the 7 bowlers used. Stapleton again leading from the front. Economy rate of 1, wicket 1, 4 overs, 4 runs. Zach Micklewhite, he took a couple of steepling catches. He got 1 for 19. Paul Lawson, 2 for 21, but Gavin Hoey, 2 for 13. But Fia Kratuka coming out the best of the bowlers, 2 for 6 from 2.4 overs. And brother Donica picking up a wicket for 5. So all in all, a good game for Pembroke, a good result. It'll be worth looking at the Leinster League title when that comes out soon. And we'll leave you then with the final bar and the sight of the Pembroke firsts putting on the covers. Zach Micklewhite, well, do you know, just for a piece of individual brilliance, including 2 catches and a wicket, I think he'd be player of the match today. Many congratulations to him. Many thanks to you for tuning in. And I'm going to go and warm up. Good night. Your next broadcast will be tomorrow without yours truly. Weather dependent, of course, as all cricket is. And if somebody else would like to come down and take on the mic, the mighty mic, they'd be more than welcome. Thanks very much for today. Thanks very much to Niall and to Pembroke CC.